Matt tugged his blankets to him. His vision was still blurry, but he could make out certain faces running around in front of him. His hearing started coming back too, but most of what he heard was buzzing noises. Matt could make out someone talking to him. Someone emerged into his vision, a woman wearing something blue. Finally, his vision settled, and so did his hearing. He could hear someone calling his name. It must have been the woman in blue, and now he figured out that the woman was actually a nurse, and he was laying in a hospital bed. Matt tried to remember what happened. He was asked some questions by the doctor and given meds, food, and water. After a while, a few people burst into the room. It was his parents and his sister. Everyone was relieved to see him alive and well, and finally conscious. There were a lot of hugs and questions, but Matt was still taking everything in. The doctor urged everyone to give Matt some space and time. After almost 6 hours, he was himself again. He remembered what had happened. Matt had been driving his motorbike when someone tried to cut him off and sent him careening off course, throwing himself and the bike. The crash had utterly destroyed his bike, and Matt was severely damaged himself. Upon arriving at the hospital, he needed immediate surgery near his spine, and his injuries left him in a coma. For almost a month, he hadn't woken from the coma. His family members came by every day to ask if he was all right and to talk to him. Surprisingly, he remembered that. He recounted all the things he had heard from his parents and sister, and they all looked at him surprised. It wasn't so much what he said, but how he said it, and the fact that he remembered everything so crystal clear. But to add to their confusion and sense of eeriness, Matt mentioned another voice he heard while he slept. He mentioned 2 or 3 other voices he heard, but he couldn't figure out who they belonged to. Matt knew it wasn't the nurse or the doctor, but just referred to the voices as them. Concerned for his son, Matt's dad asked more about what he remembered and about the voices. Matt recounted the vision he had. After the accident, there was darkness for a while, until a man came to him and asked what Matt was doing there. Matt explained, and the man looked at him with a smile. He offered Matt to show him around the place he found himself in. Matt followed the man, who had a mustache, a top hat, and a very stiff white suit with a cane. He could have been described as having a comical air about him if it weren't for the mysterious man's excellent conversation. He explained to Matt that many like him had come to this place, and the man was always there to help them out. As he remembered the man, Matt almost went into a trance-like state as he described how much of an inspiration he was. He told his family how the man had taken him in from the darkness. The man journeyed around that dark place until he reached hell. He showed Matt all the damned souls suffering in the inferno as demons with horns and marred faces tortured them. Matt had asked to see heaven, but the man said he wasn't allowed to see it. He must earn it. They were at a crossroads. Even though this place was dark and somewhat cold, Matt felt at ease with the man next to him. He was like a guide, like a mentor to him. Matt told his family how he had heard his father talk about their family business going badly, and how they were planning to sell it due to competing pressure. How his mother's health issues caused the medical bills to pile up, and how his sister's marriage was disintegrating and heading to divorce. Matt looked at his family with an almost angelic look on his face and offered to help them in all of their troubles. They were happy that he remembered it all and that he was back, but they couldn't help but feel something was a bit off. This person in front of them did not exactly act like the Matt they knew. The Matt they knew was careless, and didn't pay much heed to the family business or any of their lives. Nevertheless, this new change was a heartwarming one for them. Matt was finally discharged from the hospital. While they were driving home, Matt thought about what the man said. The man tried his hardest to drown out all the other voices, but what he said was clear. Matt needed to earn his way into heaven, and for that, he needed to help the man with his goals. A deal, the man proclaimed. For returning Matt to his old life, the man would require gifts. The first thing Matt did after arriving home was to take a walk. First, he went to the family store and looked across the street towards the competition. That store was run by 3 sons. That night, Matt broke into their house and murdered all 3 sons in cold blood. He even murdered their old man, and once he was sure there was no one to take over the business, he left. That night, he went to his brother-in-law's place. He and his sister were living separately now, and he had another girl over. With a cold look on his face, Matt strangled both of them in their bed and left the house. The next stop was the hospital. On his way, bloodied and sweaty, Matt giggled to himself and remembered the man and uttered, "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I will get rid of everyone who did me or my family wrong. I will send them straight to you, sir. Thank you for returning my life, and for that I shall give you even more gifts. And finally, I'll be in heaven, won't I?"
Subscribe today or beware.